Hello everyone, and I told you guys, I think in my Jason Bourne review, no, in my Suicide Squad review, is I was going to be revisiting, bringing back a video that I had probably done of like my least favorite, the favorite. I was going to do that of Harry Potter, of my least favorite, my least favorite to favorite, but I decided to scrap that. Excuse me, and I've essentially decided to do my, as you see in that title, my redo of, not really my redo, but essentially I'm redoing, essentially the Star Wars Questionnaire, and this is the thing that I'll change. It started off from Grey Jedi 91 and a bunch of others of Star Wars versus makers, but they said, it's not just for us Star Wars versus makers, it's for Star Wars fans, who legitimately know what they're talking about, like really deep, passionate, huge fans of this material. And so, if you have a good word of knowledge of Star Wars, like that goes more than just one layer of Star Wars, it's like, feel free to do this. Otherwise, what do you know, really? So, yeah, just jump right into it, and I have the questions here brought up on my computer. And let's now do so. The first question is Jedi or Sith? For me, I couldn't inherently choose just one or the other. The Jedi are so traditional and so much discipline. It's like, there's some things I really love about the Jedi. There's a discipline, and there's like the whole calm, serene mindset to it. But it's like, it's so much set in stone. There's certain things that just won't bend to you, at least. And then with the Sith, it's like, it's so much up to your own interpretation as well. For the record, I've already done this like 2 years ago, and I'm just deciding to redo it because my opinion has changed greatly. Regardless, the first question is Jedi Sith. I would personally choose to be a Grey Jedi because it's just a great intermediate balance of both. It's like, I understand, taking in more calm, serene mindsets, and for someone like me who works in a factory, who works with a lot of tedious machines and dualities every day, at least, you gotta keep calm. You gotta be that very, very calm and level-minded, and it's like, you gotta keep focus, and you gotta essentially just not crack, at least. And I think like having that calm, nice mindset to it, at least. But you shouldn't be so dogmatically pushing away, saying no, the Sith is like a drug. Like, no. It's like, for me, like, as a Grey Jedi, you gotta maintain that balance, and it's like, it's so much more understandable and much more reasonable in my perspective. So I'm truly at heart a Grey Jedi, at least. Favorite worlds? For me, I have a few. Korriban is just a great Sith, great Sith planet. I love it. Not much planets to trigger my allergies, at least. Tatooine, classic planets, at least. Some others are really good. Dantooine, I really love. I think for me, that'd be like my personal retirement place. My personal retirement plan is like, if I was to live my rest of my life somewhere, it'd be Dantooine. But my personal favorite Star Wars planet for me would be Coruscant, because we see this at most of the Star Wars movies within the prequels, and I feel like of all the planets, this is Star Wars as purest core. It's fantastical, it's unique, and it's very fun, and it's really interesting, but it's still sci-fi at heart. And Star Wars is, no matter what we think as fans, it's sci-fi fantasy. It's both. Most people say, oh, it's fantasy, and some people say it's sci-fi. No, it's a great mixture of both, and it is. And for me, it really does make a great feeling of a real fantasized sci-fi planet. And for me, it shows Star Wars what it is as purest core. And every time I see it, it's like, to me, no words to describe it, regardless, as Star Wars. To me, when I see that planet, I'm like, that's Star Wars, at least. So yeah. Third question is, what type of lightsaber color, and form. My personal type of lightsaber would be just a regular one and a half handed grip. So it'd be like, the lightsaber would be like probably around this long. Single, not curved or anything. The single as it is, But two double paired ones that you can kind of join together, so you have multiple options. You could just use one or the other or join them together. Multiple options for me. My lightsaber color would be blue. Even would be one of them for me at least would be blue. Even though I would want to be more of a Jedi Counselor, which, I mean, if you're a Jedi Counselor, you're more likely to have green, and you're more focused on your Force abilities. I want to be Force Counselor at least, but I prefer blue over green. So it's like, I want to have a bit of an exemption for myself there. And my other color would be red. And, because I just love the Sith, so it'd be blue and red. And my lightsaber form would be, probably Form 6, Naaman, because it's a jack of all trades form. It's like the mixed martial arts of the lightsaber training. It's not like as fast as Form 4, not as defensive as Form 3, but for me, it's like, if I want one certain one, instead of like, I want the one that has kind of encompasses all of them together, because I'm not that huge of a person, because I can't use Form 5. I'm quite short, actually, but I would use Form 6, Naaman, backed up with Form 5 because of his simplistic approach, and like Form 6 for me, backed up by Form 5, and then Form 3. Alright, and that's basically it for me. Even though I would essentially personally want to master all lightsaber forms. Various species, there's a lot. Wookiees, Valak, Whippids, Trandoshans. For me, it's like I personally have no bias of it. Like, I can't really say personal favorite, but I love so many different species. For vehicle, at least, probably Star Destroyer, mainly because it's kind of like the shopping mall, for to say, of Star Wars vehicles, because there's so much space in them. It could be your home if you wanted, and yet it's not as small as, let's say, a TIE Fighter, because I think that's a bit too claustrophobic for my personal choice, and yet not too much as small as, let's say, Anakin's Twilight or the Millennium Falcon. For me, it's just Star Destroyer. I want this big, fun, huge type of the type of a mall-sized home. For me, a lot of choices in it. So for me, a Star Destroyer all the way. Also, the Sith Meditation Spear would be a great choice as well. If I was a Jedi Master, what I want a Jedi Master who will encourage all three embodiments of the fighting and yet passive mindset to it. And that is, someone who encourages your physical fitness, but also your lightsaber skills and your force abilities, who treats them all as like a 1/3 of a unity together. Someone who really focuses on that very much, very, very well, but also someone who focuses on you really, and essentially has a lot of trust and sees you as a future, because if they die, then it's like, I'm the one who continues on their teachings, at least, as a Jedi. And for that reason, I would say Luke Skywalker, because he's such a brilliant, well-rounded Jedi. And maybe Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he's essentially what a Jedi should be. He's passive, and again, he's willing to fight. But Luke is like... Obi-Wan is kind of like what a Jedi should be, what every Jedi should be. But Luke Skywalker is kind of like... I don't know. But for me, it's Luke Skywalker, because he's just so well-rounded, and for me, he's a true Jedi Master at his purest heart. He focuses on all things, and yet he knows he chooses so much heart and passion and so much stuff into lightsaber combat and force abilities, at least. If I was a Sith, which Master would I want? Same exact reasons as Jedi, of what I said before, but also someone who focuses on me as a worthy opponent, and who has a lot of trust in me and admiration. I'm not just as a pawn in the game. Someone who I see as a love and trust for me, and views me as, if they die, something to pass on information, at least. I'm talking so fast. Um, I will probably choose either Darth Plagueis because he views me as a worthy apprentice and he really encourages critical thought, and Darth Revan mainly because I'm such a fucking huge fan of Revan. And I know that's a typical Star Wars fanboy thing. It's like, oh, you love Revan. It's like, I can't help but love Revan. And for me, as much as I love Darth Plagueis and he would encourage a lot of critical thought, for me, Revan all day. For me, it's Revan. The next question is, if I was a Sith, what would your Darth name be? And for me, it's Darth Giles, man, because I don't know, that's just the first thing that came to my head, really. That's me. For my favorite Star Wars film would be A New Hope. I just love seeing it where it all started, where it all came from, at the very least, seeing the intro of it, seeing where it all started. It's like the exact same reason why Fellowship of the Ring would be my favorite Middle Earth film. It's like seeing it where it all started, the most nostalgic, it's the first one I watched. And for me, overall, it's like, that's my favorite, just personally speaking. It has the most beautiful directing, the best, it's fantastic music. It's just, for me, it's the start, it's the intro of Star Wars for so many of us, and that's personally why it's my favorite, with Empire just close behind of that, personally. Least favorite film, Attack of the Clones. Even though I do like it in parts, it's like the cringeworthy dialogue, the horrible romance between Anakin and Padme, and the abysmally bad, lazy CG is just astonishingly bad. And yes, I am a prequel apologist. For the record, I do really like the prequels, and personally speaking, and I can find redeeming qualities within Attack of the Clones, but for me, it's like, that's hands down the worst out of the main 7 movies. For me, at least. Yeah. If you could write your own Star Wars novel, what would it be about? Well, for that at least, I would choose the most obvious route, and say Star Wars novel about my own self, my own character, myself as in the Star Wars universe, running that through how my own story would go through. It may be typical, but you know what? I would love to write my own story within Star Wars, because who really wouldn't? For the record, which film has my favorite soundtrack? For me, easily Revenge of the Sith. It has the most epic, it has the most kick-ass testosterone, like war feeling, like Duel of the Fate soundtrack is just fantastic. And for me, it really is just my favorite soundtrack of all the movies, and it's like the absolute best. Do I collect figures? Yes, I used to. I actually have upstairs in my room. I have, well, they locked away now. I have a lot of Star Wars figures when I was younger. I used to play with them a lot. So yeah, I do collect figures, and I collect not much, but I do collect lightsabers as well. In my opinion, what's the best thing about expanding the universe? I think it allows so much more freedom and creativity, and it expands upon unique characters and unique races, and it's like you get to add so much more depth to it. And something some Star Wars fans can admit is that the prequels really did open the doors for that. It's like, as much as some hardcore Star Wars original trilogy lovers may say, the prequels just opened so many more doors to the greater world of it. And for me, it's like, yeah, the prequels really did take a chance, and they said, yes, let's focus on the story, but also make the world more unique and fleshed out. Where the Star original 3 kind of kept it on a somewhat of a smaller budget, we just say. But regardless, whatever. Worst thing about it, too many cooks. And worst thing about the expanded universe, classic thing what so many others have said, too many cooks in the kitchen. So many people working on the same things together. They would definitely contradict each other within storytelling as well, which I'm kind of glad they do. as much as I hate Star Wars, what they're doing with the continuity of the what is and isn't canon and legend and all that, which drives me up the motherfucking walls of like, you know, deciding what is essentially is and isn't canon now, which drives me mental. Calm down, Jack. Calm down. Yeah, this complete contradiction so much, and the classic thing of too many cooks in the kitchen, that type of feeling. And yeah, what the Star Wars mean to me, for the record, that alone is like worth its own video. But to sum it up, to not going too much longer, it's like it's just pure fantasy escapism. I love it. It's something I could escape from my regular day activities, like work or stress related shit like that. It's like, if I'm angry or anything like that, I just put it on. It's pure escapism. I get to enter a whole new world where I get to start anew. It's like that classic fun type of tomorrow's a new day. You get to turn over a new leaf type of feeling to it. And it's just so much creative freedom to it. And I love it so much. There's so much depth to it, so much love, passion, creativity, and regardless of what you think of the prequels, it's like a real personal experience for George Lucas making these films. For him, it makes it more real, and I guarantee it. Anything, I would say this: if the prequels weren't bad, then we would think much more highly of Star Wars. And now, granted, that is something good, but it's like we would forget that the creator of this is still human, and if The Force Awakens wasn't that great, then we'd be more pissed off as ever. So maybe we should be thankful for what we get, no matter how good or bad it may be. And sometimes we gotta say, you know what, shit happens. And because the prequels weren't so good, I would say it helps identify George Lucas as more of a human being than ever. And I think some fans get so upset that they lose sight of that. It's like, you know what, George Lucas is just as much as a fan as we are. You shouldn't get so damn pissed off about it. Okay? He's just as human as you are. So please, for the sake of everything, relax. Yeah, that's really my personal new updated question Q&A of the Star Wars Questionnaire. Essentially, everyone, I really do hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the future. I really do hope you enjoyed my new updated version of it. And essentially, yeah, as always, subscribe as you want. And this weekend, I will have 2 reviews for you guys. Friday, I will have my review for Sausage Party, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll have my review of Sausage Party for you guys. And then Sunday will be my review of Pete's Dragon, because I'm seeing both of them this weekend. I'm really excited for that. And yeah, till then, as everyone, stick around as always, and see you guys in the future. Till then, goodbye. And remember, may the Force be with you always.